Welcome into the lounge presented by DraftKings. I'm Ryan Mink here with Garrett Downing and thrilled to sit down with Kyle Van Noy.
Yeah, and I'm Kyle Van Noy.
You're Kyle Van Noy. You got it. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of, you're ready to host this podcast. You've got your own
job.
That's right. You've got your own venture, vibing with the Van Noys.
Yeah.
With your wife. So tell the listeners about your podcast.
Yeah, so it's I would say it's more of going to be on YouTube. Okay. I don't want to consider it a podcast. Okay. I appreciate that, but I think we're going to go more into kind of the couples challenges that we've been doing, but it's more of an extension of that. We've kind of showed that a little bit on social media this year, but we're going to give you a little bit more kind of vlogging style of it. This one's a little bit longer on the minutes, and we're excited about it. We're excited to launch on Thursday.
Yep.
I'm pumped about it. We're going against Eckler's after we played the Commanders. That Battle of the Beltway. So that's what this is. So it's fun. It's going to be entertaining. Got to watch it because the ending's unbelievable. It's good. I can't say if I won or didn't, but it was
a perfect series right there.
It was awesome. Yeah. So excited to continue to do that and just explore more things. I kind of did a little bit Elite Eats back in the day where I was going to different restaurants and shouting them out, and I started to bring that back on my TikTok.
Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of comments of like places to go. Okay. So if you guys have any places to go, or fans that are watching this think I should stop at some food spots, hey, you need to go here.
Yeah.
I would love the comments because I love going to try food. Obviously, I still got to watch what I eat, but I like to indulge every once in a while and shout out places that may not be talked about, or places that are very talked about, and kind of give them a shout out.
Overrated, underrated, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Always try to give good reviews.
Okay, nice. Yeah. That's a good food critic.
Kind of like I'm a foodie, so I'm really interested in this piece. So we'll have to go in depth here on the foodie stuff.
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm down. I just tried that Ekuben place. That chicken sandwich is very good. Yeah. I was very impressed. I was not expecting it to be that good, and it was rocking.
Well, they come out here for victory trucks, right?
Yeah, let's go. We gotta win.
I mean, all the more reason to win this year.
That's funny.
So
hold on, before we start, we gotta say shout out to Kyle Hamilton, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we definitely gotta say
Kyle's
that.
Unite.
Yes. I mean, my name could be Hamilton. We got to switch my bank account.
Right, if it gets you a little more money, right? You got the wrong last name on that check.
If I can be Kyle Hamilton, I'll jump in on that bank account at any point, man.
No, but honestly, he deserves it. He is an incredible player, and Ravens fans, better be pumped because he is the man, and excited to see him in a Ravens uniform, hopefully for his whole career. I mean, what a talent he is, and very happy for him and his family. Well deserved.
Do you ask him in the locker room to break you off anything, or how's that go?
No, it's more like you got lunch next time. You got dinner next time, and I don't even think there's no questions asked. So but very happy for him.
Yeah.
That's cool. So for you, as you're coming into this season, and you've built a home here in Baltimore over the last few years, and really established yourself on this team as a player in the locker room, just as like a respected voice on and off the field.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, well, like what is your focus and your mindset going into this season?
Yeah, honestly, I tell people I have two football homes, one being New England and then the other one here. I'm really grateful to be a part of this organization, be a part of what they've been building the last 3 years. I know it's been going on before I've been here, but hopefully I'm here for the glory days, right?
Right.
And, this year is kind of like hopefully legacy, something that I've never talked about personally in my career because I've kind of, been focused on different things, different goals and dreams and different things like that. But now getting into the legacy part where I could really solidify myself into, the legacy of what the Ravens have been for so long since they created this organization back in '96, and just to be a little another piece of the puzzle and, have my name with the different great players, their core players here, and gets me excited, gets me hyped up for another season. I'm pumped to be a part of it and, be a part of the process too. I think, we've gone through a lot the last 2 seasons as a team, and I think it's molded us into better human beings because we've been through a lot, but also as better football players, and we're excited for this challenge, and we're ready and we're hungry. You can tell by the way we work, by the way we talk to each other. It's business.
Yeah. You won 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots. So you know what it takes. You've seen not just individually what it takes, but as a team what it takes. And the Patriots, like the thing about those Patriots teams was like they were just so good in high stakes situations. Like you just won all the time. Like it wasn't necessarily that no shade.
We're the best teams.
No shade, right.
No, I agree.
mean, I kind of want to talk smack on the Patriots.
You can.
But
it's
like,
totally
right,
fun.
it wasn't like A to Z. You're like, man, that roster, holy cow. I mean, obviously Tom, obviously yourself.
Yeah.
But like,
I appreciate it.
put those 2 names right on.
But I get it. I understand my role. but I mean,
like, what did it take?
Yeah. The great question. Like I know listeners, plug your ears. I get it. New England, the hated history and all that, but I'm one of the good guys, so I can talk about it a little bit. But I would just say, that's what we trained for. It was like you knew in the moments what other teams were going to do, and we knew what we were going to do at that time, and we took advantage of that and just played at elite levels during when it mattered. And, that team also had to learn that. Luckily, Tom had success earlier in his career, but then he went a long stretch of time not getting back there with elite teams. With a team in 2007 was the greatest offensive team, arguably to ever play the game and didn't win. They were undefeated and ended up losing, but they were putting up video game numbers and ended up losing. So that process was built too. And I see a lot of similarities in this process being built too. We have obviously the quarterback to do it. And I think guys need to step up, stars be stars in those moments. And then guys that are in position to make plays that aren't the star players to make those plays and to be reliable. And I think, we have the coaches, we have the players. It's just a matter of making those plays when the plays are needed. And I'm excited because those guys that are stars that are on our team, they're the right stars to have. And the guys that are ready to take their roles from starters to then get to that star level, they're ready too. And I'm just appreciative of the work that these young guys here have put in. A lot of guys are hungry, and it's very, very exciting.
It's interesting to hear you talk about process because, like, sometimes people give the cliche answer of, like, new team, you start fresh every year. But then there's also, like, there's shared experiences and like when the Ravens won it in 2012, like that's experience in 2011 and going to New England and losing in a heartbreak and then coming back and being in the same place the next year. Like those stories were connected. Like there's no doubt. And like there's similar themes, I think, with this team. How do you build from those experiences and use them to drive you moving forward? Yeah,
I would say the teams are different, but you still have the core people that are the members of the team, the core people like, Tyler Linderbaum, Ronnie Stanley, Lamar, guys that have been here in that process for a long time on defense. You got, Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, Roquan now has been here for a little while, Nnamdi, Travis, Adafe, guys that have been in the process a long time and growing still getting better each and every year, all of them. And so just the core of the Ravens is still there. You're just adding pieces every year. But I just think the learning experience for those guys to know what that feels like to have played in the AFC Championship now and to play in the divisional round again and, to have heartbreak after heartbreak, it's like, enough's enough, and I think that's kind of the mindset of everybody where we're all hungry and excited for the challenge of we know the mountain we're climbing, and we're gearing up for that. And it starts Sunday night. We're excited at a place that we didn't leave happily last time, and hopefully we can leave with a little grin on our face. But it's just one game, and it's going to be a long season, and we know that, and we're excited for this process.
How does that hunger, that increased hunger level, manifest itself in like the actions? You know what I mean?
That's a good question. I think it's just again, talking about a full season, seeing it gradually going throughout the season. I think when you get a new team like we have, you'll just see the gradual where we're getting better. For example, last year you had 10 weeks on defense where you're like, oh man, Paynes are pulling hair out. I have a couple more gray hairs myself. But then you get the process of cleaning up what you need to clean up, and ended up putting a good product where people were like, okay, we have a shot, and we did, and we still did in the last game, even though it didn't go our way. We were still in the game. So. And I know people are tired of that, and I'm tired of sitting here on mics talking about it, but it's part of God's plan, and just got to continue with that belief that guys are going to continue to get better, which they have shown. Everyone has shown the work, and hopefully we can get the product to where fans are all happy and we're celebrating.
Right. It feels like that this has just been a really good training camp from like a work perspective, that like it's felt very work. And I don't think any Baltimore Ravens training camp's a walk in the park.
Yeah, I was going to say,
they're all tough.
Yeah.
But like, and then just off the field, we talked about Kyle Hamilton. Like there's a rack of guys that are waiting to get paid.
Yeah.
They're waiting for extensions. None of them have made like noise that you see going on around the rest of the league.
Yep.
There's been no holdouts, no hold-ins, no holding of any kind. And then like it sounds like guys are getting together a lot more off the field and watching more film. Like to me, I see that stuff, and I see the coaching staff. They've put in this grading system where like every little minute detail and fundamental of the job gets graded and put up on a big board in your meeting rooms, right? To like grade practice. Like to me, all that stuff seems to be adding up to, all right, this is a team that's taking the actions that's required to get over that hump.
Yeah, I think, Harbaugh does a good job of finding leaves no stone unturned. I really believe that, and he's done a good job of that, and I think players have embraced that kind of mentality, and we've done that ourselves. We've been a lot more open and honest with each other, not really holding back, because like you just said, there's a lot of guys that are going to be up to have extensions or not get extensions and go somewhere. So it's kind of like this, you have a lot of players that we don't know. I'm in the last year of my contract.
Right.
You just don't.
What's the future exactly hold?
What's that hold for everybody? Right. Not just myself, but you have a lot of guys. Once we could start naming them if we would want, but let's not go there. Let's just talk shop. And it's the fact that the team's going to be very different after this year.
Right.
I mean, it's been 3 years together. We got to do something. And I'm excited for that, because I believe in this team. I really do. I believe in number 8 just as much as anybody. And I'm really pumped to play football again, really pumped to play with the guys, because we've been through a lot together. And I think that's what has grown us closer. We all like each other and hang out with each other, because we all been in the SHIT together.
You've had a career renaissance here, and like you've talked about, part of it's just being in the right situation and being able to go get the quarterback, and that's allows you to put up some big sack numbers. But part of it too is like not giving up, I guess, as a player, and being able to just reinvent yourself to a certain extent. Like if you were to put your finger on one thing, like what is it that has allowed you to flourish here with the Ravens at this stage?
I would say mindset, because I think anybody, if you're not on a team that's drafted you per se, they're trying to replace you. That's just the nature of the beast. That's what they're trying to do. And just the mindset that I have is just different than everyone else's. I'm not a Hall of Fame player. Like, I'll be the first one to play her, but I can say I'm a really good football player. Yeah. And I hang my hat on that, because on every team that I go on, when I leave, it gets worse. And there's stats to back that up. You can look at, all of the places that I've left, and they've gotten worse. So to me, that's my mark. Like, hey, he's doing something special. He does something unique that, you can't just find anywhere else. And I think the mindset of knowing that, and knowing to perform, and knowing to make plays, and knowing to how to help other guys get involved, help other guys set their opponents up, help other guys take a little bit off their plate, where I'm able to speak up more in situations. That all goes unnoticed. That you can't put a price tag on that. People don't know until you're around and you're gone. Like, oh no, like we took that.
That's what we miss right there.
Right. It's like when a breakup happens, you kind of hope the other person is a little worse off.
But
you're like, you'll find out.
I used to think that, but I don't, because of the time and effort and energy I've put into guys around the league, where you want them to be successful. Right. So I first, yes, maybe my first stint, but after now being through the process, it's like, you invest in a lot of guys, and you want them to be successful and have successful teams, except for when you play that team. But honestly, I'm just pumped. I'm pumped for the season, just like everybody else. Everybody's going to be on the edges of their seat till Sunday night. Let's enjoy the process of the Sunday. Everybody watch the 1:00 games. Don't get too crazy, but get revved up for the game, because we'll be revved up.
I'm interested. You kind of alluded to this earlier this summer, but you said like you had some serious thoughts about your football future, and you were a little kind of coy about it. And I'm interested if like you could share more about what that thought process was for you.
I don't know.
Big old smile crosses his face.
I don't know if it's the right time to. Maybe we can talk about it when the season's over. But it just took the last two seasons. Like, I take losses in the playoffs a little harder, just because I sacrifice a lot, and I don't need to get into detail of like everybody sacrifices during the season, but I sacrifice a lot, and a lot is family time.
Exactly. All that stuff last year, right?
And I just sacrifice a lot with my family during this time, so every day counts for me. So like when we lose games, it's like I go into a dark place, because I know the end is closer. My future is very, it's year to year, and so. I didn't know at the time if the Ravens still wanted me back, so there's everything, all the emotions go into after every year. And I think for me, it was just like coming to an agreement with myself of like, do I want to give another year? And sacrificing came up, and have a good co-pilot teammate and my wife. And it was like, all right, we can do another year.
Awesome. Well, I think we're fired up about that. I know Ravens fans are. We can't wait to see you ball out this year, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're listening to the Lounge Podcast. We are coming to you from the SeatGeek studio. We also want to mention our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are an official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. So big thanks to Kyle for joining us again. Check out the Vibing with the Van Noy series on YouTube. Also, Kyle's got a Substack page that you can check out called One More Shot. Talks a little bit of leadership, a little bit of life both on and off the field. He's got a great story, as we talked about a little bit. Just a resilient guy who, like, at multiple points in his career, the door closed at one place, and there's kind of a question of like, what's the future hold at this point? And he's reinvented himself multiple times. He's just continued to be like a really good player, and he's coming off a career year. He's just been awesome, an awesome pickup for the Ravens these last two seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just a good football player. Like, he's like one of those dudes where, he's not the biggest guy, he's not the fastest guy, but like, dude can play football, point blank, and he's just had a great career. I think he will definitely look back on his career someday, and a lot of people will, and be like, man, Kyle Van Noy, pretty darn impressive. You got multiple Super Bowl rings. Hopefully gets a third here in Baltimore, and And that's in part because of just like the holistically what he brings to an organization, kind of as he was talking about.
I think he's kind of a tone setter too, a little bit. Like he's a tough dude out there. Like he doesn't mess around. And the Ravens have a bunch of guys like that. I mean, Roquan Smith is a tone setter. Like there's a bunch, you could go through the line, but like he has the mindset that you want from a player who plays that position. Like no nonsense. Like he'll get in your face if he feels like it's necessary. And tough dude who plays football the right way.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree. So really excited for him this year.
Double-digit sacks again, run it back.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I think that what he showed last year, he can just get after the quarterback, and the defense keeps the offense guessing in terms of where the pressure can come from, and that's one of the things that I think is really good about this defense. And would not shock me at all if he were to put up double-digit sacks again.
I mean, I think that Mike Green's going to be getting in on that rotation, like David Ajabo's on the 53, and remains to be seen how many. How big a slice of the pie he has, but I think that the Ravens have a lot of outside linebackers, and they can kind of keep guys fresher, keep Kyle a little bit fresher, one more year on later in his career, help him out. And that could certainly benefit him, even though he could potentially, we'll see, play fewer snaps.
Yeah, and I think that the conversation that we had around like this team and training camp and like the mindset stuff, like I see that too. Like I just get the sense that like this. I'll give an anecdote here. Like after practice this week, the offensive line was all running wind sprints together. Like they were going through wind sprints. On the other field, you had a bunch of guys on defense, particularly in the secondary, having like getting in additional work and conversation after practice.
Yeah, guys, like different position groups I've noticed just hanging, just like sitting in a circle talking after practice for like a long time.
Yeah.
And you just see a bunch of, Cheeto talked about it, about like going to guys' houses, and Jair had them all over for wings and pizza and like talk football and watch film and all that stuff. And it just reminds me of like some of those old school Ravens teams with Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, and like the work that they put in off the field, watching film and bonding and building that kind of connection that ultimately can be the difference.
Yeah, so I think that there's a lot to like about this team and their mindset going into this season, and we're fired up to see it all come to fruition. Week 1's here. I mean, we're getting this party started here. The Ravens are going to be playing in Buffalo on Sunday night. We can't wait to get that game underway, and the Ravens are all eyes ahead, focused to that matchup Sunday night in Buffalo. Football season is back. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can email us at the lounge at ravens.nfl.net. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, and on YouTube. Thank you so much, and we'll be back with you again later this week.